Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie. I just woke up, so that's why I look like this. But welcome to 2023! This is the first vlog in 2023. I actually started one yesterday, but I DNF'd the book on New Year's Day, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad vibe. I think it's a good thing. It's like me taking control of my reading year, you know?
Sure, Jan.
I'll talk more about it in my wrap up. So today I'm going to try Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries. This is an e-arc from NetGalley and it comes out January 10th, 2023, this year. It's a lot of genres. It's like historical fiction, it's sort of academic, it's also romance and fantasy. So that's a lot going on. It's about this woman, Emily Wilde, and she is in academia. She's very serious about her studies, and she studies fairies and whatever sort of cultural impact they have had on history. I don't really know, okay? But she goes out to this foreign place. I thought it was the Netherlands, but I might be wrong. She goes there to study the folk, which I don't really know. Okay, again, what's going on? I don't know if the folk are what we assume are fairies or they're the townspeople who believe in fairies. But while she's there, I think she has like a partner or a colleague who is also there studying the same thing, and he's very much good with people. He is very charming and she is not. She is kind of closed off, or, you know, she's kind of in her books and that's where she stays. And so I think they're gonna fall in love. Maybe a Grumpy Sunshine vibe, but I think there's also more to do with these fairies where I think they're real, okay? For some reason, when I picked this book out, I was really excited for it, and now I'm not. I don't know why. I think I might be intimidated that this is set in God knows when, 1909. And it's kind of cool because each chapter is like a diary entry and it shows her location. So this is the location. I have no idea if that's a real place. That is my ignorance right there. And I think that's why I'm intimidated. So I'm really gonna be using my New Year's magic to really start this book, but I think when I start it, I'll get a vibe. You know, I'll let you know if I'm enjoying it or not. Also, I did lose a soldier in the Battle of New Year's Eve. R.I.P. Okay, I got to 4% and I'm already thinking that it's gonna be great, okay? I really like the writing style. I think even more so because the book I DNF'd yesterday had a writing style that wasn't my favorite, so this one is great. It's in past tense, but also we are in a diary sort of form, which I think is really fun because it's like storytelling, which is like one of my favorite things. But yes, our main character, Emily, has gotten to this place and it is real. I looked it up, so my apologies for being ignorant. It's in Norway, I think. We haven't had the love interest come in yet, but she has mentioned him. His last name is like Barnaby, which is very British. And I think they're academic rivals, which again is very exciting. All right, guys, I am about 21% of the way in and I am loving this book. I think it's so funny that I get in my own head, like before I even really start a book, I'll read a page, and if it sounds even just tiny bit like it might be a little harder to get into, I'm immediately like, ugh. So that is a lesson for me. Give a book a chance, come on. So yes, our girl Emily has ventured to this land and she has a little cottage, but our girl Emily she's not a people person. She's just kind of awkward and I guess British, I don't know. And so she makes the people that probably would have been welcoming not as welcoming, just a miscommunication kind of thing. Meanwhile, she's hunting for these fairies, and apparently in this world, fairies are very much real. And when she finally came across one, she has to kind of like bribe it to say hi to her. And she's in this stream and it starts digging in her pocket. The way that the fairy is described, it just sounds so cool. I was like, oh my god. I don't even like reading about like creatures that much, but I was like, oh my god, this little fairy is the cutest thing ever. Apparently there are these cute little fairies, and then there's also fairies that are up to no good. I guess all of them are slightly tricky in the sense that you gotta watch your back a little bit, but some of them are straight up looking to just scare you and be menacing. There's also this weird mystery happening where I think the townsfolk have gone missing, or even worse, I don't really know. I'm sure by the fairies, but of course our girl Emily has not been able to work her way into the heart of these people yet to get the true story. She also has this dog companion. His name is Shadow, and he's so cute. So cute. And then she has this academic rival named Bartleby.
Editing alley here. I keep saying Bartleby. His name is Bamblebee. I did read this book, I promise.
And it's so funny. I really want to get this audiobook whenever it comes out. Well, it comes out on January 10th. But because she's British, she's in a Norway setting, and Bartleby supposedly has an Irish accent. So I feel like it would be really fun to listen to it. He sends her a letter, and she is both warmed by it and also like, ew, get away from me. And she tells us that she suspects that he is actually a fairy, which I was not expecting. At the point I stopped reading just now, he made his way to the cottage uninvited, which pissed her off, but also she was pleased by, because she'd been kind of having a little rough time. Their energy together is just real fun. And he's a weird character. He's very charming, but you don't know if it's like he's gonna turn his back on her. I'm trying to say he might like trick her into stealing her research, or he might just be a really good friend. And I think that mix of you can't really trust him is maybe like the fairy part of him. I don't know. So honestly, I am loving every part of this. It also, first of all, it's written very well. It almost has an old-timey feel to it. Some of the word choices and structure. I don't know if it's just like extra British. I don't think so, because it really does feel like maybe a wannabe Jane Austen book in the best possible way. But the language is definitely adding to the atmosphere, and so is she's using footnotes every now and then. Not too many, and it's not annoying, but it makes it feel so much more genuine of our main character, because of course she's putting footnotes in her own journal. I think that's all I wanted to say at this point, just that I'm loving it, and I wish I had started it a week ago when I should have. And I have no idea how this is gonna go. I'm gonna try to keep my expectations steady and not too high, because I feel like this could be a 4.5, 5 star. I don't know. Also, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a series, so I'm wondering what would happen in the second one. Or maybe it's just a series of Emily going to different places and discovering different fairies. We'll see. Tomorrow I go back to work after 4 days off, and I'm not actually looking forward to it. Usually I don't care too much because I like my job, but I think the 4 days is too much to have off if you're not doing any vacation. Like, now that I've gotten into the routine of just sitting on my ass and reading all day, I just want to keep doing that. Hey guys, I just got to 50% of the Encyclopaedia book, and still loving it just as much. Our duo is about to go on a little camping trip to sort of investigate something, and it's giving me everything I want. There was also a section that I was not expecting within her like journal, which is what this whole book is, and she tells us 3 stories as if they were fairy tales. I love that shit. So yeah, I'm really just loving this book. As of right now, it's gonna be a 5 unless something horrible happens. So yeah, I think the next update I'll give you is when I finish the book, which might be tomorrow.
Yeah, that one felt like it was pretty good. The rest kind of felt shitty. Well, I guess the 7, 10 or whatever the fuck it is felt good, but it's just like shipment's a little annoying if you have to shoot multiple people. Alex pissed. She shuddered at the thought of me living my life. Just kidding.
I feel like I had something else to say and I cannot remember it. I was gonna show you some journal things, but I actually think I'm gonna do like a quarterly flip through of my reading journal. So I guess I'll save it till then. Other than that, my life is boring, so I don't really have anything to talk about besides books. Hey guys, I just finished the book. I was waiting all day to read this. I had to work. What a bummer. All in all, I really, really love this book. It was just so comfy and I loved all the characters. I do think that the last 30% kind of went off the rails a bit. It turned very fantasy, which I don't know, I kind of like it more when it's set in the real world, but there's all these things happening fantastically around. However, you know, I don't have a problem with it. And there were a couple things in that section that was like, wait, what? But I think my level of enjoyment has to make this a 5-star, which is awesome because this is the first book I finished this year, and I feel like this is good luck. I find myself so fascinated by fairies now, and I've read plenty of fairy books before, but now I want to read more about them, about myths and legends. This really did feel kind of like a fairy tale.
Y'all, it's editing Allie here, and it wasn't until I was explaining this book to my husband and I said the word fairy tale that I put 2 and 2 together, that fairy is in the name. So I feel like I should have made a joke with that, but also I'm so delighted that fairy, I want to know like the origin of the fairy tale. And I'm just so, there's just...
They played on stories so much that I'm sure that wasn't a coincidence. I can't wait for book 2 now. I really don't know what's gonna happen, although I really loved everything that was happening in here. I guess that's kind of the fear of everyone who starts loving a series, that it's not gonna be as good as it continues, but specifically the characters that we met in here. Also, the setting was so cool. For anyone that wants to read this, it comes out January 10th. I'm definitely gonna get the book myself, and I think I'm going to definitely try the audiobook as soon as possible because I'm just so curious how it's going to be produced. So I'll probably reread it very soon, which is crazy. If you like fantasy, if you like academic settings, or if you like a main character who's type A, which is really something that I love. Grumpy Sunshine is in there. There's also like a pet that becomes, it's like a familiar kind of thing. Random characters that are just so heartwarming. Also, if you do end up reading this and you're watching this after you've read it, sometime in the future from me, Poe might be one of my favorite characters, and I feel like we're gonna see more of him. Anyway, I think that's it. Oh, I could cry right now and I don't know why. Honestly, this was so surprising. I'm not gonna be surprised if this ends up being in my most surprising books of 2023 list, although maybe by then I'll forget how much I was surprised and just think about how much I loved it. If you want to know more of what I'm reading like in real time as it's happening, and you can get a little hint to whatever my next video is gonna be, definitely follow me on Goodreads. I have the link down below, and thank you so much. Also consider, I never asked this because it feels so fucking awkward, but I'm almost at 500 subscribers, so if you aren't subscribed and you made it all the way here, consider subscribing just to make that 500 number, which is so satisfying for no reason, make me happy. Okay, I feel like I'm blushing now because that was so awkward. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.